right, now that we're here on the right screen, let's jump over to the share screen. This way you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. So one thing to keep in mind, again, as a commercial real estate agent, you're going to have to pay attention to a few key things. So once you're on the main screen, which I'm just going to click home real quick, so this way you can start from the main screen. This way you can see this. Okay, now you're on the main screen. What's going to happen here is that you're then going to go to settings. Once you're in settings, you're then going to go to the power dialer, which I want to make sure you check off a couple boxes, right? So depending on when you are you're dialing, you're going to want to make sure when the live answer comes in, you're going to want to use the beep. You're going to want to make sure that this happens. The best part that's going to happen is that while you're multitasking, if you're just like me, you're going to want to make sure this is selected so that they don't hear a beep, by the way. This is just for you, right? So the beep is just to remind you like, hey, someone's there. So just say hello. As soon as the beep comes off, just say hello. It really is just like them answering the phone call. So make sure you do that, okay? So I've been using that for a long time. I like to do that. Sometimes your zone guard is also on. So you're going to want to make sure you turn off the zone guard, or you're going to want to change the time frames in which you're not allowed to call. But if you have a team, this is where you're going to have to edit that. What you're going to want to be making sure that you also are doing is you're going to want to be adding caller IDs this way, or you could use MOJO Voice where you can add in a virtual phone number. Really easy things you can do. But again, you can just add a caller ID. You're going to want to add yourself. It's really easy to add your phone number, but this way you come up as the caller ID. For callback messages, this is really important to pay attention to, because what this is when someone picks up, like two people pick up the phone at the same time, because I'm dialing 3 people at the same time. So when 2 people pick up, what's going to happen is that one's going to hear a callback message, right? The person who clicked 1 second later, right? They answer the button, right? You're going to get a callback message, which you can create as anything. What I typically have, and right now what my callback message is just me going, hello, hello. I think we have a bad connection. Let me give you a call back in a few minutes. Hold on 1 second. And then it'll hang up. That happens, and they're going to get the callback message. The other person you're going to continue having your conversation with, and then it will automatically ring them back, right? That person who just heard that callback message when you're done with that next phone call, right? So it'll immediately go to the next one that just heard the callback message. So I recommend just leaving a callback message. That's what I've been using for a very long time, almost, almost 10 years now. And it served me very, very well. And then basically the next time when it calls them back, you just go, hey, can you hear me better now? And then you get right back into the script. That's what I've used. Now, when it comes to drop messages, we have a ton from the years of using this. Add a drop message. This is going to be something important to pay attention to, because every single phone call you make, you should 100% of the time leave a voicemail. However, you need to be conscious, because you can go in the description down below and check out the script book that we have. You want to make sure that the voicemail aligns with the script you're using, right? So if you're cold calling commercial deals and your voicemail is saying something like, hey, I'm a realtor, in the area, and I'm working with a client who's going through a 1031 exchange and they need to move some money around and blah, 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 whatever the voicemail is, which could be a good voicemail. You have to make sure that when you call them back, right, or that when they call you back, they're going to have the intention in their head of like, hey, this guy called me because they have a client going through a 1031 exchange who's looking to move some money for tax purposes. When you answer that phone call and you have a different script in your head, you just need to keep in mind that like you need to just know what you're going to be talking about, right? So we want to make sure that you don't have 17 different voicemails for all these different things, right? Unless you kind of put things in different buckets, right? So just be conscious of that. Your voicemail is very, very important, that it aligns with what you're talking about. So keep that in mind. And you can add a drop voicemail here. That's really it. And like I had talked about here, that I just want to be able to show you in real time here. All you're going to make sure that you pay attention to in the commercial world is the import file, right? You're going to click import file. You're going to choose your file. I'm just going to click some random file. So just bear with me. As you can see, I don't have any files. Multifam list, great. This is from forever ago. Multifam list, choose file. So you have multifam list right here, and then you're just going to click next. Then you're just going to add it to whatever file you want, right? So let's just say you put it in a calling list, right? You're going to name your calling list. Let's just say that we have multifamily, right? You're going to do one for your multifamily list, one for a certain area, right? I would title these specifically around asset classes or geographic areas. Those are going to allow you to, and you want to make sure that you, as an example, I've typically done asset classes so that I know oh, these are all my multifamily lists. This is all of my, and then you can have it like MF, right? We should have a lot of meetings. MF hyphen the city that it's in, so you can actually know or the county that you pulled, right? So you want to make it as clean as possible. So let's just say it's save. It's going to go in the multifamily. Go to next, and then you're going to basically add all the right files here. So it's already going to click the ones that are pretty obvious. For the first name or full name, you're basically just going to look for the one where it says owner name, right? I'm just going to add that. Last name, you might not have to put this because it'll put it twice, or true owner, and say true owner name, right? So the point is that you're just going to fill this out exactly how it needs to be filled out. You're going to click next. Okay, cool. So to be imported, I don't even know how many were in this list, by the way. So this is a very old list. What you're going to want to do for this list here is that this right now is saying, I have duplicates for phones on the spreadsheet in the database. I'm going to do import new and old. I want to call everybody, absolutely everybody. You don't need to remap data. You're just going to finish import, right? So all you're going to do is you're going to make sure you always click import new and old, and you're going to do finish import. And this is it, by the way. Like if you're a commercial agent, you don't need to watch any part of everything else in this video that you're going to be watching, because once you're done here, everything's imported. What's going to happen here is that your file's already clicked. You're going to click data and dialer. and then you're going to rock and roll. And that's it, right? You click data and dialer. You always make sure it's on the triple line. And that's it, guys. And you get started and you get right into the dialing session, okay? So all you're going to do here is that if you're a commercial real estate agent, you need to know how to set up the back end of the phone call. So you're going to do your voicemails, your callback messages, how to import your lists, and that's it. Everything else after this video is going to be mainly for a residential real estate agent. And I'll see you guys soon. What's up, everybody? I wanted to create this video just to give you a deep dive on MOJO Dialer. Again, I've made over 400,000 calls. Yes, over 400,000 calls using this system. So I wanted to talk about exactly the couple little key things in this system that truly have made me the most money from cold calling. And there's a few key things I want to talk about specifically around lead generation. So let's dive into the first few things. What you're going to see on my screen here is the dashboard for MOJO. So a couple of things I want to talk about is if we dive into the lead store, we're going to be talking about a few key things. So in the lead store, again, this is just the home screen. So you're going to go to the lead store up at the top, and you're going to want to dive into a few things. So I've been using the expired data, the neighborhood search function for circle prospecting, and then you have the for sale by owners one. So those are truly my three favorite and ones that I've been using forever. And then you obviously have some other ones here, which they've been introducing over the past period of time. The for rent by owners here, again, if you want to dive into it, you can. I never really have used it. As you can see, I am not paying for it. This is also a newer thing they've launched. I did try it. I didn't really find it that beneficial for what I'm doing, just because I get my leads from other places, just like the following two. But the skip tracer and the pre-foreclosures, listen, you can definitely call them. However, I just have other lead sources that I get for my leads specifically, which I pay a lot of money for, way more than $49 a month. So I definitely don't mind you starting off here, but I basically would take the leads that I get and then I dump them into MOJO and I just use the dialing function for it. But again, these are also fantastic options for you to dive through. I just definitely recommend the following, which would be the expired data and the neighborhood search function. If you're going to start off, those are probably my first two that I would start with. And if you just want to use one, I'd probably use the neighborhood search function for circle prospecting. It's just my favorite. And in this market, there's not truly that many expireds to make the expired data worth it. So again, for the circle prospecting, we're going to talk about that first. So let's go into how to set that up. What you're going to see here is in the neighborhood search function, you're going to have this little blue bar right here. So you're just going to click on this. And again, listen, I live in New Jersey, so you're going to about to see New Jersey pop up, if not the entire country. So let's dive into, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, move over here, because you can do this all over the country. It doesn't matter. You can do this literally if you want to start prospecting. If you live in New Jersey with me, but you want to start prospecting in Florida for whatever reason, you could. So as you can see here, over the period of time, you can see all the little search functions that I've used. And I really, I've done all over the state, but primarily I live in Monmouth County. So that's why a lot of these tools, or you'll see the polls here, were from these areas. What we're going to do here is that I'm just going to do a quick search function. Let's just say, I bought a property in Asbury Park. So let's say I want to buy another one in Asbury. So hold on one second. So I'm just zooming in to Asbury specifically. What I'm going to do here is that I'm going to do the free form plotting. You can obviously do a radius. The radius is like a little search dial, which I'll show you a couple options. So again, let's say you do free form plotting and you only wanted to call the section before, or that's near the waterfront. This is what we call east, or the northeast section. So again, if I wanted to just call that, I could free form plot this just like this, and then I can start pulling the data. You'll see there's 516 options here. And yes, you can obviously go into absentee. Oh, sorry, that's just for absentee owners. Total searchable context is 858. You'll see absentee owners, vacant properties, free and clear. You could obviously search all those as well. Now, again, for radius search, let's say this is perfect for circle prospecting a neighborhood. You could just do an outwardly, a radius search around whatever, and you can move this circle wherever you want. This is another option you can do. This is like if you just had sold a home or listed a home, you could do a search function that'll allow you to pull the closest, in this case, 830 homes, which you could also bring that in, and you would only be calling the closest 300 homes. So again, if you have a sold or just listed, this is a good option for you as well when you're doing the just listed, just sold calls. Again, for circle prospecting, I like to just do free form plotting, and I can do whatever I please, right? So I could just literally pull any amount of data that I want. In this instance, let's just say for an example, we just want to call the northeast section of Asbury, which you can see I've done a number of times. So let's just say I'm going to pull this data. You see 859 contacts here. Again, you could do absentee owners only, which you're going to see there's 516 because this is a huge rental market. Again, out-of-state owners only, you have 138 out-of-state. If you wanted to do also vacant, you can see there's 0 that meet all that criteria. But if you do vacant properties only, you can see there's only 1. Again, listen, MOJO doesn't do, it's not perfect, but it's a good system. And listen, by the way, there's no link to my, my affiliate link down below. No, there's no affiliate link. Just get the software, make some money. I don't care. That's not the point of this video. So you can see for vacant only, and then you see free and clear. Free and clear just means they have no mortgage on the property. So there's 93 properties here. But maybe, again, a good option you could do is you could do cross-referencing. So this are absentee owners that have a free and clear property. This would be an option for you to call. And there's 60 people here that you'd be able to pull. And by the way, you see here on the federal do not call list, the biggest thing that I like to say is, listen, I still call these people. I'll still call them and I'll just apologize. If they call and they get frustrated, I'll just hang up and I'll delete the number. It's perfectly fine, but I'll call them and I'm not going to be super apologetic. A lot of people say don't call them. A lot of people say do call them. Listen, my preference, I'll call them anyways. I'll just be super apologetic if they make it a huge deal. If you really don't want to call the federal do not call list, that's fine. Go for it. You can take it off the list, but I think you're just going to have, an unnecessary amount of people that you're going to not call for no reason. Okay. That's just my 2 cents. You can follow me or not. Doesn't matter. Again, I've made over 400,000 calls using the system and I have not been quote unquote reported ever. So again, have some fun. All right. So this is the free form plotting. Again, radius search. We talked about the straight searches. If you just want to pull one street of addresses, that's perfectly fine as well. Again, let's just going to go through this. Let's just say that I wanted to do the absentees and free and clear only. So I would do an import. Again, this is saying that I understand that this is, going to be from the do not call list. I understand. You always want to do keep new and old because what ends up happening is that if you just do keep old, it's not going to pull any contacts. I want to do keep new and old. You always want to do that because sometimes from other searches, you might have that, you might have already basically pulled the data. So that's why I'm saying, you probably want to do that. So make sure you always do keep new and old whenever you're doing these types of searches. Then again, we're going to name this, just call it Asbury. And we're going to say Northeast Circle Prospecting, CP. Okay. Asbury, Northeast, CP. Okay. Nice and easy like that. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to finish import. And then I got it already here. Now you're just going to go to my data. This is how simple this is, right? This is really cool. And guess what? They already pulled all the phone numbers. So you can literally see all the phone numbers here. 60 phone numbers, 60 entries here, which is awesome. Now what's going to happen is this, and again, it's going to come up in your calling list, which you can put in any group that you want through MOJO. Again, this is just for an example. You're going to hit select all, or as long as you're on the list, it doesn't matter. As long as it's highlighted here, you just go into Power Dialer. Power Dialer is now going to bring up this function. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to pause for a second, Brandon. You also need to block out my phone number. Okay. So as you see here, this is we're going to bring up once you've clicked on the data dialer, the power dialer, you're going to be able to choose your name here. As you can see, my information is blocked out. The next part here is you're going to leave a voicemail message. So again, I have several voicemail messages that I have created here for different properties. This one here, I'd say consider selling. So again, by the way, you can literally record yourself creating your own voicemail. You're going to do this every single time. So make sure you know what voicemail to say. And by the way, I'll give you a quick voicemail you can leave. Hey, John, I'm going to say Mr. Seller again. So you're probably just going to say, hey, blank, because you're not going to know who this is. And this is a blanketed message. So you're not going to want to say, hey, John, hey, Sally, hey, Susan, or hey, really anything. You're just going to be like, hey, it's Henry with EXP Realty. Just wanted to reach out to you because I'm actually calling around the neighborhood on behalf of, and then we're going to fill that in with, a couple different options. So it depends on what you want to do. You can leave several different voicemails, but you want to get straight to the point. Hey, this is Henry with EXP Realty, and then leave your phone number, by the way. I would always do that. Always leave your phone number right away in the voicemail. So again, hey, this is Henry, the EXP Realty, leave your phone number. The reason for the phone call is that I'm actually just calling around the neighborhood because, and then we're going to dive into the because right now. Again, I dive into a lot of investment work. That's what I do specifically more than anything else. So I like doing circle prospecting for investments. So that means I would say something like, I'm actually just calling around the neighborhood because I represent an investor who's going through a 1031 exchange. If you don't know what that is, Google it. 1031 exchange, and they are super hungry to buy their next investment property in your area. And I was just curious if you might consider hearing an offer on your property. If so, please feel free to give me a call back when you get a chance. Phone number is blank, blank, blank. Okay. And then that's it. Okay. That's for investments. If you're looking for a listing, you can just say, Hey, it's Henry with EXP Realty. Leave your phone number. The reason for the phone call is that I'm actually just calling around the neighborhood because I represent a few clients who are desperately looking for a home in town. I've shown them so many different properties, and look, I'm just trying to find them their perfect home. So I'm just curious if you might consider selling your home. Again, if you're looking to sell your home for a fantastic price because this market's out of control, please feel free to give me a call back when you get a chance. Phone number is blank. Okay, simple, simple, simple. Keep it straight to the point. Okay. What that's going to do is that they're going to call you back. And again, I would not just say, hey, I'm calling to see if you would consider listing your home today. Okay. They're not going to call you back. I'm just going to be honest. If you say you represent a buyer, even if you don't, it's okay. You could say, hey, I have I'm working with a client named Henry. He's desperate for a home in town. Use me as an example. It does not matter. Okay. But again, if you're trying to duplicate it, you don't want to say names, right? Because you're going to leave this voicemail for hundreds of people. So if not thousands of people, or for me, hundreds of thousands of people. So just make sure that, again, the voicemails are simple, clear, to the point. Okay. Make it super simple. So that's for your voicemail. And by the way, again, you could also record this if you're doing just listed, just sold. If you want to do all that kind of stuff, you can literally just say, hey, my name is Henry with EXP Realty. I actually just listed a property at 123 Main Street, right around the corner from you in Asbury. Be specific in that instance because you just listed it or you just sold it, so they can look it up and they can show you, again, it shows you proof of what you're doing. So you can do that as well. Other than that, I would pretty much just stick to those three. To try to keep it simple. Okay. The callback message. Okay. This is a very, very interesting one. Listen, I have 3 lines dialing. Everyone always asks me this. What happens if somebody picks up the phone while you're calling? Well, this is what a callback message comes into play. Okay. That means you're already speaking to John Smith, the buyer, and now another Sally, Susan, whoever just starts, answers one of the other dials. Okay. What happens is this. They're going to get a callback message. You have an opportunity to basically speak to that person through this message. So what I have learned is that I use the following script. This is exactly what I do. So if you ever get a phone call from me, this is what it'll say. It'll be like, hello, hello, hello. Actually, I think we have a bad connection. Let me give you a call. Let me give you a call back in about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll try on a different line. Hold on one second. Okay, that's it. Again, like hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I think we have a bad connection. Let me give you a call back in a few minutes. Let me just get something working on my cell phone. I'll call you right back. Okay. That's it, guys. Okay. Very simple. You're really going to pretend like you have a bad connection and you're going to end the voicemail, right? That or the callback message. That's all it is. And you can actually click leave callback message here on the side when you're actually doing right here, quick callback. What's going to happen is that you're able to leave those drop messages. Okay. It's actually going to leave it automatically for you. Sorry. And then you can leave your voicemails. I apologize. So the callback message is done automatically. Your voicemails are what we just recorded. You're going to leave those. You can choose to leave those. You're always going to want to call 3 people at the same time. I would never do single line dialer. Listen, if you're just beginning, sure, but like don't get overwhelmed. 3 lines is not anything crazy. You're going to be fine. I promise. Okay. The 4 rings, I recommend doing 4 or 5 rings. Don't leave 7. I mean, again, you're just going to be dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing. If they don't answer the first 4 or 5 rings, they're probably not going to answer the phone. And you can just leave a voicemail anyways. Okay. Last thing is that you can actually upload a script if you'd like to. You can upload my calling script, which, by the way, if you're looking for a great script, make sure you download my God damn it, I can't even remember how to do it. And by the way, you can upload your own calling script. And if you're wondering where to get a great calling script, you can actually go in the description down below and you can download my free script book. So make sure you check that out. Yes, it is free. So check that out. Other than that, guys, I would just literally leave these all blank and just go start power dialing. So what's going to happen here is that this is going to load up. It's going to tell you that you have 60 left. You're dialing. You're going to go to start dialing. And you're going to be able to connect to the dialer through the phone number that it's telling me to call in. So I'll dial this number, and then I will click into the pin. So it's really simple. And then you're literally just going to start dialing. It'll come up with a little start button. Just to give you a quick example, I'm doing this on the fly, guys. So please bear with me. Again, we're going to do this quick number. 1 second. 608. 1 second. Put this on speakerphone.
Using your touchtone phone, please enter your PIN number.
Perfect. I put in the PIN number, which is 29 in this instance.
You are now logged into the MOJO dialer. Please press the start button on the screen to begin calling.
Perfect. And then I'm just going to click start, and then it's going to start dialing these people. I don't care if it starts calling them, whatever. Right. Point is that I'm going to start calling them. Let's actually just do a quick one. Right. This is on the fly, cold calling at its finest. So let's see what happens here. As you can see, I made a couple dials this morning showing a few other people, similar video. All right. So listen, you kind of got a gist of how this process works just from the circle prospecting. And listen, what I wanted to show you is that literally everything from once you click on a list to the circle, getting into it, choosing your name, choosing the voicemail, choosing the callback message, the amount of dials that they want to be making, or the amount of lines you want to be using. Once you've done that, you can do it with every list. So that's going to be the really simple process of doing that. The other thing I want to show you is that literally it works the exact same way with expireds. It works the exact same way with for rent by owners. It's literally the same exact process. So again, you can use this over and over and over again with any type of process. You can pull unlimited lists. I love this neighborhood search function tool. It's super powerful. I've made a lot of calls using this function here alone. So make sure you check that out. Other than that, guys, like, listen, MOJO Dialer only does one thing. It allows you to make calls, right? So it really gets two things. It can give you leads and allows you to make calls. If you do not utilize the software, it serves no purpose. So if you're going to use the software and you want to use a dialer, I definitely recommend diving into this software. It's literally the best one I've ever found. And again, I have no affiliate link. I'm not here to sell you anything. It's just personally, it's allowed me to make millions of dollars, and I recommend you use it to help yourself make some money as well. Other than that, guys, hope you had a fantastic time watching this video. If you have any questions specifically about MOJO and how to use any of the other search functions, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and put it in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to make you a video just for you. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.